Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
This is zero. It's winter. Oh my god, so cold.
We're Ronnie and Jeremy, and we're digital nomads traveling to every country in the world. After living and traveling in Southeast Asia for the past 2 years, we finally jetted across the globe to another continent. This month, we have just landed in South America, and we're already enjoying the drastic contrast to the Eastern Hemisphere. And, as always, we hope you'll come along with us for the ride. Because you don't have to be a Kentuckian to travel with us, you just gotta have fun. Good morning, YouTube fam, and welcome back to the channel. Ronnie and I are still in Manila, and I've come downstairs this morning to our local coffee shop to get ourselves a couple of cups of coffee before we start our most epic travel day yet. Ronnie and I will be leaving Manila today and leaving Asia for a little while as we are flying to another continent. And we are going to be taking consecutive flights that will be our longest together yet. And we're going to do it 2 times. Our first flight is going to leave here in Manila tonight, and we're going to fly across the Asian continent for a total of about 13 hours. We'll get a short layover in a familiar airport, and then we'll hop on another Boeing jet and go across Europe and go across the Atlantic Ocean for a total of another 13 and a half hours before another short layover and another short flight that will get us to our final destination. So in total, we should be in the air on this journey for about 28 hours through several time zones, across 3 different continents and across the Atlantic Ocean. So if you're up for it, we'd love to have you along for the ride and show you the ins and outs of such a long travel journey across the world. Okay, we are at the Manila International Airport, and we are trying to check in for our 10:30 flight, which is our first flight today. We left the Airbnb at 5 p.m. local time here in Manila, so the clock starts now, and now we are at the airport 1 hour after leaving the Airbnb, and the queue for Turkish Airlines is quite lengthy, so we'll see how long this takes to get checked in.
Quiet.
Only 1 hour to get checked in here at Turkish Airlines desk in Manila, but we got our tickets, and now we need to find a currency exchange and get rid of these Filipino pesos and get some US dollars, because where we're going takes US dollars.
Oh yeah.
Checked into the PAGS Premium Lounge here in the Terminal 3 of Manila's International Airport. We have access to a couple of Priority Pass lounges in this terminal. There's a Marhaba Lounge, which is quite small, and it's shared with the Emirates Lounge. The PAGS Premium Lounge is also shared with several different airlines as well. but the space is much better. So if you're in the international terminal, Terminal 3 in Manila, I would suggest coming into the Pags Lounge because it's got much more room. The buffet bar is much bigger as well. Just an update on COVID-19 travel in Asia and in the Philippines. We checked in here today at Turkish Airlines. We are flying with Turkish Airlines for 2 of our flights today. Our 2 long flights are going to be about 13 hours and then 13 and a half hours. And then we will switch over to a partner of Turkish Airlines, which is Avianca Airlines, and they will take us on our last short journey to our final destination. Just some info about COVID-19 travel right now. At check-in at Turkish Airlines was very easy. They did not ask for a COVID vaccine. They did not ask for a COVID test, nothing like that. And immigration leaving the Philippines was very easy. We just went to the desk and basically handed our passports and they stamped our exit, looked at our boarding pass, wrote down our flight number, and that was it. As I said before, we have our 2 longest flights together today. Our first leg is going to be 13 hours. Our second leg is going to be 13 and a half hours. And our final destination also did not require a COVID-19 test or a vaccine proof, anything like that. Nobody at the check-in desk asked us for that. Now, once we get to our final destination country, they may ask us at immigration or something like that. We'll have to wait and see what the procedures are. We are flying across 3 continents today. Well, over the course of more than a day. We're going to be in the air for 28 hours total, and we will fly across the Atlantic Ocean. We are taking the long route. We are in Manila, so you would think that if we're flying to the western side of the world, you would go across the Pacific. We are not. We are taking the exact opposite route. We're going to fly to Istanbul, which is the hub for Turkish Airlines. We will transfer there to another Turkish Airlines flight and fly across the Atlantic Ocean. And we'll tell you where we're going later in this video. And as always, if you want to follow along with us on our journey across 3 continents today, go on over to our Instagram at Kentuckians Abroad. You can follow us there and see all of our live photos and our stories on Instagram. And you can also follow us at TikTok and on Facebook.
Back to Turkey. That's one of Jeremy's favorite countries.
We have boarded our Airbus A350-900. This will be a 13-hour flight to Istanbul from Manila. We'll be flying across the Asian continent, pretty much all of it, on our way to Istanbul, and we should be there maybe 6 o'clock in the morning local time in Istanbul. And yeah, this should be a full service flight. Probably gonna have dinner service and breakfast service. And yeah, we'll give you our review, of course. We splurged a little bit and got the premium economy seats, so we have some extra leg room for this 13-hour flight. And yeah, we'll tell you how Turkish Airlines does this time. We had some good flights with them last year, so we're pretty excited about this one. landed in Istanbul, and it's 0 degrees outside, and that was a 12.5-hour flight. Not too bad, but the flight was good. Overall, good service. And go ahead and drop us some comments and let us know why you opt for business class when you're traveling long haul flights. Is it crying toddlers, or is it price, or something else? Drop us some comments down below and let us know what's the deciding factor in you taking a business class seat on a long haul flight. Okay, now we have to get over to transfers, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning here local time in Istanbul. You might remember that we came to Istanbul and to Turkey last year and did a road trip across the country. I'll link that video right up here, or link our playlist and let you go back and watch those videos from last year in Turkey. Now we're gonna head to the IGA lounge, which we also visited before, and we're gonna get a shower because we have been on a plane 12.5 hours. And as I told you before, we have another plane coming up that's 13.5 hours. More to come. All right, we got through the international transfer security just fine. They always pull us aside now for our liquids and our carry-on bags. Those perfumes and things like that attracts those security officers at airports. They really want to have a nice take-home gift. But we have learned by now to have every bottle under 100 milliliters, and so they always get disappointed when they open our bags and all the bottles are much less than 100 milliliters. So now Ronnie and I are making our way through the international terminal here at IST Airport. I'm going to find an IGA lounge, which we have access to for free with the Priority Pass app.
We go to IGA lounge. This is my favorite one. It's big and nice, and the text over here. So stinky. Yes, we are in IGA lounge now and ready for shower and get some breakfast and drink and napping.
It's time for round 2, our 13.5-hour flight from Istanbul to South America. We'll tell you where we're going later if you stick around. And just so you know, we're not leaving Asia for good. All of our viewers that watch us and love to see us in Southeast Asia or somewhere on the Asian continent, we will be back. We already have plans to come back this year. We're just taking a little bit of a break and going to the Americas for a bit. Come along with us.
What's your final destination, man? Welcome to.
Thank you. Thank you. We have now boarded our Boeing 777-300. This will be a 13.5-hour flight from Istanbul, Turkey, across the European continent, across the Atlantic Ocean, and across the South American continent. But this connection will land in Bogota, Colombia. But it's not our final destination.
Los miembros de esta les deseamos un vuelo agradable y estaremos encantados de ayudarles en cualquier momento.
Arrived in Bogota, Colombia. We are at the airport here. We passed through the security checks, no problems. Got our transfer boarding pass. We are changing over from Turkish Airlines to Avianca Airlines for our final flight today, and that should take off in a few hours. So we're going to spend some time here at the lounges in the Bogota airport. First, we have come to the VIP LATAM Airlines lounge. We're going to check that out and see if it's up to snuff. And if it is, then we'll stay for a while. If not, then we'll move on to some more. We have 2 other lounges in this terminal that are available to us on the Priority Pass app. So yeah, we'll show you around. Okay, Ronnie and I have checked into the LATAM Airlines VIP lounge here in Bogota, Colombia. So far, everything is great. We got our coffee already, and the espresso machine here is excellent. It even produces some sweet Colombian coffee in the machine that makes your coffee already strong, but also a little bit of sweetness, so you don't need sugar or milk or really anything like that. Our first 2 flights were with Turkish Airlines from Manila to Istanbul, and then Istanbul to Bogota, Colombia. We were in the air quite a while, I think total 26 hours in the air, not counting the airport layover time in Istanbul. I would say our first flight was much better. The Airbus A350-900 was in excellent condition. The interior was nice and clean. We had better entertainment systems. The seats were more comfortable. They were leather. We had more space because we paid for the premium economy seat. So we had more leg room, of course. And overall, it's a much better experience. We had a really easy time going from Manila to Istanbul, and it was also our first flight, so we were a little bit more refreshed. Our second flight was not nearly as comfortable. It was much more similar to our flight we took last year in the summer when we went from Jakarta to Istanbul. That was a Boeing 777-300. The interior was just an older version of what Turkish Airlines does with the Boeing aircrafts. The entertainment system was old, quite old. It had some features that were totally outdated. The old remote control thing, the Ethernet ports. The seats were not comfortable. I do not remember the seats being uncomfortable last year from Jakarta to Istanbul. Maybe it was because we'd already flown 12 and a half, 13 hours to Istanbul, but the flight from Istanbul to Bogota was quite hard on the back, quite hard on the bottom, and we were constantly getting tired and having to change positions because we were in so much discomfort. Now, as I said, our last flight today is with Avianca Airlines. They are a Star Alliance partner with Turkish Airlines, so we will accrue points and miles on Turkish Airlines by taking that flight. Avianca is based more in Colombia and in South America, and so we expect to be flying around South America using Avianca quite a bit, but it's great because with Star Alliance we can add those miles to our Turkish Airlines account or whichever airline we would like to add it to in the Star Alliance program, so that's great. Our final destination today is not in Colombia. We are going on to another country. We'll tell you about that later. I'm not sure what time we're going to get there. It might be late, so it might be a surprise for next week's video. We might let you know depending on what we can show you. I think we're just going to have airport tonight before we get to our Airbnb because it might be quite late and I'm not sure how immigration is going to be in this place that we're going to. So we'll touch back with you later about where we're going. But I wanted to say this is a great opportunity to share that the citizens or Indonesian passport holders have great access to South America. Indonesian passport holders have access to more than 50% of South America, plus some Caribbean countries as well. And so Ronnie will not need very many visas at all when we're traveling in South America. And so I wanted to pass that on to our Indonesian viewers that watch our videos. If you're thinking about a vacation or thinking about the Caribbean, there are countries in South America that Indonesians do not need a visa, and some that are quite friendly. Some countries in South America offer 90-day visa-free entry or 180-day visa-free entry. So great news for Indonesians. Last thing we need to talk about is this LATAM Airlines lounge here in Bogota, Colombia. This lounge is all that you need really in an airport lounge when you're transiting, especially if you're only here for a few hours like we are today. This LATAM Airlines lounge has showers, nice bathrooms for men and women. You have a coffee bar, you have a wine bar, but you're in a pretty good central location, so you're not too far from either side of the terminal here at Terminal 1. This is Avianca's hub and Avianca and Copa Airlines have the majority of the good routes in South America. So if you're coming to South America, you're going to be flying around and traveling, you're probably going to want to use Avianca or Copa, and both are Star Alliance members, which is great if you're a member of Turkish Airlines or United Airlines or any of those airlines that are on the Star Alliance.
Let's to the destination.
For more information.
Our last flight for today.
Mask plans. Avianca requires masks still, and we've got settled here in our seats. Very nice, leather upholstery here inside the cabin. We're on Airbus A320, so seating is 3 and 3, and this should be an hour-and-a-half flight to our final destination for the day. Welcome to Ecuador. We have landed here at the international airport in Quito. We're not going to show you around this video because we're tired and we still have some work to do. We did get through immigration. It was okay, but there were many Chinese citizens from our last flight, and so they were checked very carefully at immigration, and so the queue was quite lengthy. We eventually did get through, and here we are, past baggage claim, sitting outside waiting for a taxi, and we're going to get a taxi to the apartment and call it a day. We have been in the air for 28 hours over the last 40 plus hours of total travel. Just to let you know, we had two 12-and-a-half-hour flights and then a 2-hour flight, so we are tuckered out, as they say in Kentucky. If you would like to support us on the regular, go on over to our channel at Kentuckians Abroad. Check out all of our membership perks we have there for folks that want to support us from week to week. We would love to have you on board. If you enjoyed this travel video from Manila in the Philippines, across the Asian continent to Istanbul, Turkey, and then across the European continent and the Atlantic Ocean and the South American continent, we hope you will give this vlog a thumbs up and share this video with all your friends on all the social media channels. And if you enjoy traveling around the globe and going wherever we go, please subscribe to our channel and check that notification bell so you know when our new videos are uploaded every week. But remember, you don't have to be a Kentuckian to travel with us. You just gotta have fun. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep on keeping on. Cheers.